Sleepy town settling for the night, where the Owens women live their lives. And it's about time that the back porch light comes on at that house down the street, at that house on Magnolia Street. All right. Sorry.
All I could hear was you shuffling papers around and I couldn't see you. It was very ominous.
My phone wasn't plugged in. I had to shuffle around.
Shuffle up, I guess.
Shuffle up, I guess. Hey, Witch, hey.
Hey, Witch, hey, how you doing?
Good. How are you? How's your tea? What are you drinking right now?
This is called Breathe Easy Tea. It's got a
Ooh.
ton of stuff in it, but I've never had it before, so here we go.
Traditional medicinals?
Or like yogi or something like that.
I
It's
love
like
those
the yellow
teas.
box.
They're so soothing. The throat coat one is
This is very similar.
yeah.
That's really good. Yeah, it's very
Does it
good.
have that like elecampane or the licorice root in
Yeah,
it?
licorice, and it had like marshmallow root and mullein.
Mhm.
Dude, I have mullein. Lori told me I got mullein growing in my yard.
Yeah.
I transplanted, which is like good for your lungs and things, so I need that today.
Right. Have you ever used it? Did you know you could use mullein as like a witch's torch kind of deal?
Oh, like bundle it up?
Like you can there was this one YouTuber, I forget his name, but he harvested like mullein, and there's something that you could do that you can make like a torch out of it. Yeah.
Whoa, cool.
Yeah, it's so crazy. It was crazy. Yeah.
The petals, the big leaves are so soft. I thought it was lamb's ear because like not many plants have that like velvetyness to their leaves,
Yeah.
but I guess mullein does.
I guess this is common. A lot of people do this. Okay, go to YouTube and search mullein witch torch. And look at all the people, look at all the videos that come up with like these people just holding these mullein torches. This is crazy.
Oh,
Right? It's very Indiana Jones. Like you're going through a cave,
yeah.
torch.
Or like the mummy.
Bad on boats.
Bad on boats. Oh my God, I have to tell you something. So Caitlin marcoed me and she said, how long have we been doing this fucking project? She said, it has come to pass that now Billy Zane has entered my dreams because you guys talk about him so much. But she said it was like 90s Billy Zane with the good hair.
Okay. Okay. So like charmed Billy Zane.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
I was like, yes, we've infiltrated the minds of our listeners.
I love that. I love that for us. That means we're working our way into people's subconscious, into their psyche.
One day, remember how you had the dream about Waba and
Yeah.
that you were at like some conference? Maybe we will infiltrate dreams.
Oh,
Well,
that's
who the
right.
hell was saying Kim? Was Kim dreaming about us one night?
Yeah, I think so. We're slowly working our way in.
All right. Well, welcome everybody. I don't think we have too much business before we get into this. This is episode 43.
Mm-hmm.
But actually, that's nuts.
Yeah.
This comes out at the end of August.
Yeah. Our topic today, it's weird. It's like it has a small place in the movies. It has zero place in the books, but it is mentioned, and it always piqued my interest because I was always like, I've never heard of that before. What's a Nigella? What's Nigella seeds? Like I've never heard of that before.
Yeah.
We talk about Nigella today, right?
Yeah. I don't think in the movie they mention any other herbs that aren't really well known, like mugwort we've heard of, and like get the mint from the garden we've heard of, lavender, rosemary, like all that stuff's pretty standard. But like Nigella, that's a very witchy one I've never heard of.
Yeah. Also, there's more stuff detailed in the books that I've also never heard of, like Arnaglossum. Have you ever heard of Arnaglossum?
No. Where's that from? What?
I think that's in the page when they're doing the whole spell over Jimmy. I don't remember exactly where it was, but I was like, that's another one that I picked out when we were doing research for like all this like stuff to talk about for the podcast when we first started back in September. I was like, what is that? And I put that on the list too. So there's like a couple things that like I've never heard of that maybe not even mentioned in the movies, but more so maybe in that you kind of see flash in the grimoire. So it might be cool to touch on some of those things too.
I can't believe we haven't done more herbs by now, because we've done mugwort and this, but all the other ones have been like trees or bushes. Belladonna and mugwort. Yeah, that's it. And Nigella.
Yeah. There's just so much to talk about, like between the character analysis and like other stuff, random stuff we talked
Production
about.
stuff, music stuff.
There's just so much. So we get around to the herbal ones if, when we do. But if
Mhm.
you guys like these herbal episodes, let us know. We'll definitely try to do more of them.
And since this is coming out at the end of August, this is the last Friday of August, I think the 25th. We just want to remind you, we're going to be in Salem October 11th through the 15th. Our listener event is the Friday the 13th in Salem. Go to our Eventbrite link in our show notes to get your e-ticket so we know how many people are coming because there's limited space. So we would really appreciate you going, checking that out, and we hope to meet you there.
Yeah, and just to clarify, Salem, Massachusetts. Not Salem, New Jersey, not Salem, Oregon, not Salem, South Carolina. Dude, there's so many Salems.
Yes.
But I'm
Yes.
like, if you're a witch and you're listening to this podcast, I think you probably know what Salem we're talking
I
about.
hope
But I
so.
just wanted to clarify in case that one random person shows up in like Salem, wherever else, and they're like, I thought
Yeah.
the Stinas were going to be here.
Go to our Eventbrite link for all the details, please.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
No surprises.
No surprises.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But yeah, we're talking about Nigella today, also known as blessing seeds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this comes in the movie around an hour and 5 minutes and 32 seconds. Some of this was taken from transcripts.foreverdreaming.org. I've never heard of it. It's just like a random transcript site.
Some of the other transcript sites only give you like portions of it or you have to pay the rest, but this one had the whole portion I was looking for. So I pulled it from there and then we also listened to or read the closed captioning for this little portion, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, we're going to go through the scene in which Nigella shows up in the movie.
So this scene actually takes place in the little pantry closet off the kitchen when Gary Hallett comes to town, right? And they're kind of covering up this whole Jimmy murder, right? Sally and Jillian.
It's a little
And
bonding moment between Auntie Jilly and the younger girls.
right, yeah. And Jillian wants to send him away. Meanwhile, Sally, there's something about Officer Hallett that draws her to him, right? She doesn't really know what it is yet, but she invites him over for breakfast. And he comes over for breakfast and, they want to make pancakes or whatever. And Jillian thought it'd be a good idea to make this banishing syrup, send this officer away. We don't want him hanging around here, snooping around our garden, asking
nose
questions.
in where it
Right,
don't belong.
exactly. Yeah, so she kind of gets a young Kylie to help her with her dirty work, and they're mixing up this syrupy potion to send Gary away.
How
Uh,
cool is that pantry apothecary?
I love it. I
Oh,
want there. Yeah. There's a shot of the mixture of like whatever they're putting together,
uh-huh.
a close up of that.
Uh-huh.
I actually should have pulled that. Let me find that real quick.
Yeah, go for it. You mean the dry herbs in the mortar?
Yeah, because it looks like there's like lavender in there.
They're just throwing stuff in. Also, I want to just comment on the aunts like organizing, like their labeling. Like I love the aesthetic of like bottles that are all the same and labels that are perfect, but like we talked about in Victorian architecture, you're going to pull baking soda and you pull like fucking rat killer off the shelf. It's treading toward disaster if
Yeah.
your organizing looks like that.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
Yeah, why was she having to like sift through bottles like I can't find the blessing
Clink,
seeds.
clink, clink, clink.
Yeah.
That
Oh,
should be
milk.
alphabetized, color coordinated.
And then you mentioned you were like milk thistle. What the hell? Like
What the fuck?
why does she
But it sounds like we'll get there, but it sounds like she was like, oh yeah, milk thistle. Like, and then just had an ADD moment and maybe put it back. I don't know why
Yeah.
she would say that.
Yeah, I don't either. As if like it had anything to do with the blessing seeds that she initially needed, right?
Right.
Yeah. All right. So we see the seeds there.
See the seeds? Yeah, it does look like rosemary in there too.
Yeah,
Or
it
not
looks like,
rosemary, sorry, lavender.
yeah, I see like little purple buds, like a lavender, maybe yarrow. Do you see where my pointer's pointing to?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep, I see it.
It's this little thing right here. That looks like it could be like dried yarrow or something.
They're just slapdashing this thing together.
Oh my God. Yeah, they're just throwing random shit in here, which leads me to believe maybe they put other stuff in here that would not have repelled him away, which we get to a little later on. There are some properties of Nigella that actually have some truth revealing
Ooh,
properties.
interesting.
That leads me to believe why what happened ultimately happened.
Oh gosh, I can't wait. That's a big bowl. Did you see how big the bowl is that they're putting all the
Yeah.
ingredients in?
Yeah.
Kylie in the movie to me is looks like Jillian, right? But she is more like Sandra. She's more like Sally. She's
Uh-huh.
very like studious. She's like everything like by the book. Like she's very smart when it comes to her magic.
Yeah. She's also a child. She's a lot more hopeful. Like she's like has these like wide eyes, like thinking about love.
Mm-hmm.
So in that aspect, she's a little different than Sally, right? Because when Sally was a child, she was like, I don't ever want to fall in love. And
Mm-hmm.
Jillian's like, I can't wait to fall in love. And now Kylie's kind of has that same kind of like wide eyed feeling about love. And then Jillian's like, it's kind of weird. Like, Jillian's like the adult version of like what Kylie ultimately will become. It's kind of like a foreshadowing. Like,
Mm-hmm.
history is going to repeat itself
Yeah.
unless Jillian's like, all right, I gotta lay the smack down, or she's gonna go down the same destructive path that I went down, and I don't want to see this like little girl go through all that bullshit that I just went through with
Mhm.
Jimmy and everybody else she's dated.
Because they're a little closer than in age than Sally, Jillian, and their aunts. They're their great aunts. So I
Right.
think as a modern woman, Jillian has like a little closer of a view of what Kylie is going to go through ultimately. She's what's supposed to be what, like 12 maybe?
Yeah, probably about that age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think having that connection is different too. The person
Right.
raising you. It's
Right.
and is she going to be in their lives? This is so off topic. Is she going to stick around and
We
be in their lives forever?
we can get back to this whole scene because this that we have a song called What Love Is Like, one of our original songs, and is it was inspired by this very scene.
Are we popping it in?
We could pop a little excerpt in here, and then once we get to that song or so, we'll deep dive on this scene a lot
Okay,
more.
sounds good. All right.
But yeah, here's a little snippet of what love is like. I hope you choose to take that leap. I hope you choose to lose your feet. I hope you spin and spin and spin with your arms out wide. Lose your heart not once but twice and feel that ache. 'Cause when your heart breaks, honey, it's not forever. So to continue on our Nigella, do you want to be Kylie or do you want to be Jillian? We're gonna read this little
Oh,
script.
I'll be Kylie.
Okay. All right. So this is the scene in the pantry where they're cooking up that Nigella concoction. All
Oh,
right.
sorry. So Kylie goes, to banish on one person's, it says we need blessing seeds.
All right. Good. Blessing seeds. What about Nigella seeds?
It's the same thing.
She's so cute.
She
And
is so
Jillian's
cute.
like, "Wow, is it good? Good. You're good at this."
And then Antonia comes in. She's like, why can't we tell mommy we're going to send the policeman away?
Your mommy likes to pretend she doesn't do magic, and we have to banish this man for your mommy's own good. Blessing seeds, right. What else do we need? Antonia, I told you to listen out the door for Mr. Hallett. Blessing seeds, blessing seeds. Oh yeah, milk thistle. I can't find anything here. And I like how she mentions how they are so disorganized.
She did.
Yeah.
I know. So initially, I had made a little note that listening back to the audio in the movie, to me, it sounded like Nicole's accent was stringing together Nigella seeds, making it sound like Nigellis. But growing up, I had always thought it was Nigellis until I
Mm-hmm.
listened really close. And then I was like, maybe it's her accent. But you said with the captions on,
Mm-hmm.
it does say Nigellis.
The captions actually say Nigellis.
Wow.
So I'm wondering if the script, because you had earlier versions of like other drafts of the script, right? Before
Yes.
it eventually became what it became. And those say Nigella, which is
Right.
what the herb is actually called. So I'm wondering, remember how we were talking about that witch for hire, the one that ended up cursing the movie and then eventually got fired because like fuck her, why have her continue to work for us if you're gonna friggin' put a curse on the movie? Um, I'm wondering if, by the time they got around to filming that scene, Nicole Kidman by accident said Nigellis
Mm.
and nobody corrected her because they didn't have a witch on the scene to kind of like oversee things. This is my
Maybe.
theory anyway. And then since she said Nigellis, whoever does the closed captioning for the film heard Nigellis, so then they typed Nigellis for the closed captioning. So that's my theory.
Yeah, very, very well could be. But we're
Yeah.
going to learn later on that it does have that AKA. It does have that AKA, which is going to be cool. It has a bunch of them that are really good. I
Okay.
wanted to say also, when you type in Nigellus, I couldn't find anything right away about Nigellus. It was like auto-correcting to Nigella. So
Uh-huh.
that's how we kind of directed our focus that way. And then
Yeah.
we discovered it's the same thing. I just wanted to put there that like even Googling Nigellus, nothing came up right away,
Yeah.
right?
But there is but that word does exist, Nigellus.
It does. Yeah. I was also confused about the milk thistle thing. Why did she say, oh, yeah, milk thistle? Like she was looking for that as well.
Yeah, maybe she was looking for the both of them, and then she ended up finding the milk thistle first amongst the aunt's chaos in that closet.
Mm-hmm.
And she was just like taking whatever she found at, I guess, at that given moment. And she was like, "Oh, maybe I need this too. Let me just let while I have it here, let me just add it before I forget." And it gets lost in a sea of other glass bottles.
Yeah. Do we
So
need
she
to do
probably
a
just
full
wrote.
episode on just milk thistle?
We could.
Okay.
I've never used milk thistle, but it grows wild on my property, and Avi has to
Does it
cut it down
really?
because it's. Have you ever seen milk thistle?
No.
It's very spiky. The foliage on the leaves, it will cut you. It will puncture your
Like a
skin.
bull thistle?
Yeah, kind of. It's a kind of the same type of deal. Like
Milk
grows those
thistle.
beautiful bright purple flowers. Hummingbirds love it.
Oh,
Butterflies love
yeah.
it.
I thought those were bull thistles. Oh, those are so pretty. Those are edible.
It
Like,
might be like in the same, probably the same family.
yeah.
I don't know if there's a difference or if it's like an alternative name for bull thistle. I'm not sure if it's the same thing, but
Maybe not. But today, when I marcoed you and I was at Publix, I was like, they have milk thistle here in like capsule
yeah.
form, but we don't know what it's for.
I forget what it's for. I mean, we could do a whole episode on it. I know they only mention it in passing, like one small little blurb of it in the movie, but
It's there. Louis L'Amour was there.
it's there. One little mention. It's all we need to go down
Um,
this fucking rabbit hole.
Absolutely. Well, I'm asking because in our topics, when this was listed out, milk thistle was along with it, but I don't think we delve into it in this episode. So we'll have to
Yeah.
put it on its own topic thing.
Yeah, we could put it in its own because yeah, it is its own rabbit hole. It is its own herb, has its own magical properties. So we can do a whole other episode on milk thistle, but she does mention it kind of in tandem with the Nigella. So we thought we'd mention it here, right?
Weird. So we're not going to read directly from these beautiful, awesome, really cool scripts that someone sent us. There is this mention of Nigella in the scripts. Sally is involved in this scene, it seems
Okay.
like. And Sally really doesn't want to hurt Gary. Jillian's trying to like just say like we're not going to hurt him, we're just going to make him forget, basically.
Yeah.
And the ingredients that they use in this scene, they don't use Nigella in this scene. They use rosehip and blue leaf rose.
Wait,
And
it said rose hip from the blue leaf rose, so it's
oh yeah,
actually part of. I've never heard of a
got it.
blue leaf rose. Have you heard of a blue leaf
No,
rose?
no,
I
no,
wonder what
no.
that even looks like.
And she asks one of her daughters to go to the garden and get that rosehip from the blue leaf rose. And she tells Jillian that she's not helping her do this. So she basically threw her daughter into this instead of her taking the action and going to get
Oh.
these ingredients.
Interesting. The blue leaf rose, it doesn't look like a rose. It looks more like orchid or
Ooh.
like that does not look like a rose. Rosa glauca, single pink blooms in early summer. It's like a wild rose, blue-green foliage, mahogany hips in the fall. Whatever this is, yeah, I've never heard of a blue leaf rose, and I've never even seen this. This kind of looks, it also kind of looks like a clematis a little bit.
Yeah. I wonder if their Witch for Hire was still on board at this point at the writing
Uh-huh.
of these couple drafts.
Right.
So we also have another earlier script, and in this one, I think they were kind of getting closer to what they actually put in the movie because the conversation's pretty similar. They also need blessing seeds. Jillian, in this, I guess, version, calls Gary cowboy cop over and over. And she does use these blessing seeds in the mortar. She makes a powder. They want to make him forget where he is, it seems like.
So they're not necessarily trying to send him away. They just want to make him disoriented a little bit.
Yes. Yep. They want to make him forget. They want to make him confused.
Yeah, and it seems in this scene they're also pouring or making this concoction within the syrup.
So we'll include the rest of this. There's a few little things in our show notes that you guys can see if you're on our Patreon. It'll be over there.
So those were the only like other two drafts of the script that mention
Mhm.
any kind of Nigella or any other ingredients pertaining to this concoction that they're making to send Gary away.
Yes. So both scenes a little different. Sally's involved in one, And in the other one, the girls have, like I said, the similar conversation. They throw the syrup off the cliffs. And Jillian does say about the girls, she was like, if they weren't so beautiful, I'd kill them for throwing the syrup away. I thought that was really cute.
That's funny. Cool. Yeah, those scripts, I still want to do like a little read through of those and just explore those a little more. I'm horrible. Look at this. Have not even opened it.
Justina!
Haven't even opened it. Yeah. Once we, do our script episode, if that's what we're gonna do, or if we do end up doing a read through, then I'll
You're unbelievable.
get into those.
So the page, I guess, that they're using in this scene is a banishing page. And when we talked to Isis Chandler back on our episode 24, she did a recreation of this page. So do we want to talk about what's below the image first and what the original page said, just touching back on what we said in that episode 24, and then we can share the tools that Isis shares on her recreation page, I guess.
Did she say we could share this page with our patrons? Did she
Yes.
say? Okay. Yeah, so if you guys want to check out our Patreon, patreon.com/Magnolia Street Podcast, Isis was nice enough to allow us to share this page with you guys. And this is a recreation of I guess the banishing syrup spell with the Nigella seeds. So you want to go over the original from the movie first and then go into her page, or how did you want to
Yeah, let's do it that way. So on the original page at the top, it says amnesia, obliviosus memor. However, on the recreation page that Isis did, she put at the top elixum, not amnesia. It has a large opening flower in the center of the page. It has a small piece of paper clipped to the bottom in like a scrapbook style collage kind of papers. On the left, it includes pressed flowers, more paperclip information. When Kylie consults this book and when she's like pointing to the blessing seeds entry, she's just kind of pointing to the middle of that flower stem page.
Uh-huh.
So it was really nice to see Isis's recreation because it's very clear. And she said when we spoke with her that she kind of tailored it to something she uses in her personal life to banish toxic people. The obliviosus on the page obviously is forgetfulness, obliviousness, forgetfulness, loss of consciousness, and then memor is forgetful or heedlessness. So tell us what Isis's page says.
Okay, so at the top of her page, it says exilium. So Nigella sativa is the one mentioned in Isis's recreation. And then under that, it says obliviosis immemor. So the tools required, you need a photograph of the person you are banishing with a hole punched through the bottom. And if you don't have a photo, then write their name on a piece of paper with a hole at the bottom. You also need a long black ribbon, Nigella sativa seeds, dried peony leaves, tape, scissors, an ash pot, and lighter or matches.
So I just wanted to share the tools because I know this is Isis's personal like banishing ritual. And I
Right.
think in the recreation page, I think there's like two sides.
Yeah.
She does go over the steps, but those are her own personal things. So again, like magic is wonderful and you can make it however you want. But she was saying peony to her is very, very
Oh,
powerful when
that's
it comes to
right.
banishing.
That's right. Yeah, I forgot we had the whole peony discussion with her. That was so long ago
I know.
already.
Peony.
Peony. But yeah, it's so she made it very clear that these are recreations, right? These are her own personal recipes that she kind of altered from the movie. So it's not the exact replica from the movie. Like she put her little spin on it. And that's fine because intention, as we know in the magical world, it's everything. You have to use what you feel called and comfortable with using. So
Mm-hmm.
she did change things around a little bit. So this isn't exactly how it appears in the film. So she underneath the ritual composition, she has like a little note paper clipped to the page. I guess kind of like, is that what they had in the movie too? Like a little
Yeah.
thing paper clipped.
Yeah.
So like the aesthetic alone is so like she on point. Like she did a great job kind of recreating this. But again, things are tailored, like the actual text and wording and ingredients and usage. Those things are a little different. So the ritual compositions she put here. So number one, cast magic circle. Number two, call upon the god or goddess of your choice. Number three, tie the black ribbon to the bottom of the photograph by putting the ribbon through the hole. Number 4, tape the photograph above your altar. And then I guess there's more underneath that, but the photo kind of cuts off there, so I can't see what else, like how the spell, how she concludes the
Mm-hmm.
spell. Question.
Yeah,
So on the page in the film,
here it is.
does it also have these like little rune symbols on it?
I'm
On
gonna
it?
send it to you in our chat.
All right, yeah. So it's the same, kind of the same symbol to kind of explain to our listeners what we're seeing on this page. So it's basically like a straight line, like a vertical line, and then at the very top of the vertical line, it's kind of like a Y shaped. So there's like two branches kind of like extending outward. So it makes like the letter Y.
It's the algaes Nordic rune. Algaes,
Right.
algaes.
It's a rune, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then on Isis's page, she has the same shape, like the letter Y, but then there's a little extension from the middle coming between where I guess the V of the Y extends. So it does look a little different. So are those two runes different?
Yeah, the one, the algaes, I use on my like my doors, my windows, my mirror,
Uh-huh.
and it's for protection. And there's another rune on there. Do you see on the left side? It looks like a up diagonal, it goes down and then it goes back up.
It's
That's
like an
also,
elongated Z,
yeah,
right?
it represents the letter Y, but it also represents wisdom, endurance, protection, and initiation.
Protection. So I guess that
Yeah,
would enhance this kind of banishing spell to protect whoever is working the spell, right? To kind of banish
yeah.
those energies that they don't want present.
And algaes represents the letter Z, which is weird because that other one looks like a Z. It looks like a
Yeah.
chicken's foot, but that
Uh-huh.
represents protection, openness, happiness, and life force. If anybody listening has any more information, I do not work with Nordic runes. I'm just reading what's on the internet, but it's interesting that that letter, that like elongated Z rune, is so it just looks like a kind of like a design. It doesn't look like a sigil of any kind. Just kind of saw
Right.
it in there.
Yeah, it's sneaky. It was sneaky how they did it. And I'm also looking, so on the actual page from the movie, it doesn't look like a Z, but on Isis's page, it looks like that Z rune. So I'm not sure if maybe that's just something that Isis added. I can't
Mhm.
really tell on the actual movie page if that's an actual Z. It looks like a straight line. I don't know.
It does. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, but that's the difference between the two. But that's cool that she just kind of like, recreated it to suit her own needs or her own beliefs or intentions.
And she's saying it's more accurate. It's probably more accurate than the stuff that is going to be in that movie book. You know
Right,
what I mean?
right,
That's why
because
people get upset with her. Like, oh, it's not exactly like the movie. Yeah,
it's
because
better.
it's wrong. You're going to mess something up doing it
Right,
that way.
right, right. And if we go back to like the whole concept that was it Stephen Ellish and Robin Standifer that did the grimoire as well, or was it somebody else? I don't
I think,
remember.
yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're taking like these designers, like these prop designers. They're not real practicing witches, right?
Right.
They're gonna take things from what they think looks cool or arcane or magical, and they're just gonna smash it on a page. Like I'm sure they did the research to some extent. Again, it's a movie prop. It's not gonna be 100% accurate.
Yeah.
So Isis took it upon herself to do the extra work to make sure things are a little more accurate and a little more tailored to what the spell, if you were to work the spell, what results it would get for
Yeah.
you.
Exactly. The results. Right. Right. Right.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the important thing, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't want toads burping up rings.
Oh my
So,
God.
but yeah, we will include this page in our Patreon so any of our patrons can hop on over there and see the beautiful recreation that Isis is allowing us to share with you guys. So we're really excited about that. So thank you once again to Isis for sharing her resources and her beautiful work.
I just think it's so amazing how perfect these pages are. Like, I know we had a whole episode with her, but I'm just going to gush for a second. Like,
Yeah.
the amount of pausing and zooming and enhancing, like, you have to do to even see this
Yeah.
little snippet clip of a movie is like a millisecond, and
Yeah.
then it's gone. So
Yeah.
the fact that she redid these and they're accurate and they're imbued with such power is so cool.
It is cool. And yeah, they'll a lot of those grimoire the book scenes are just quick little flashes of the page.
Mhm.
Like, you don't really have enough time to really absorb what's on them unless you do what Isis did and really pause, fast forward a little bit.
Mm.
So because like, and also when they filmed this movie, I don't think like filming in HD was like not a thing yet.
You're right.
So even closing up and pausing on the close-ups, everything is still a little fuzzy. You really have to
Yeah.
squint to be able to read some of
Yeah.
these things.
Yeah.
So she really did an amazing job recreating these pages.
Are we ready to get into Nigella?
All right, so this is the science, all the science, the magic, the lore. We're going to tell you
Oh
about.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And that little history thrown in there. But I was, like I said, I was at Publix today, and we're gonna learn that this also goes by just black seed, and they make black seed oil. They sell that shit at Publix. I'm like, I'm gonna have to get this. I want to inform myself first because we do these notes, we put them all together, but sometimes it takes reading them out loud for it to really sink in. But this
Right.
seems like it is like an apple cider vinegar. Like
Okay.
it's like a cure-all,
Got it.
basically.
Oh, that's
It's your
awesome.
rosemary. It's good for everything.
It's a cure-all and it sends the town sheriff away.
The cowboy cop.
The cowboy cop. So, all right.
All right, so Nigella is a genus of 18 species of annual plants in the family Ranunculaceae. Nigella sativa is known by many names around the world. It's impossible to name all of them here. In English, the most used names include blessing seed, devil in bush, black seed, black cumin, black caraway, fennel flower, and love in the mist. We're going to
Ooh,
talk a little bit more about later on.
I like that one.
In Sanskrit and in the Arabic Unani Tib system, the traditional medicine Nigella sativa is also called kalonji. And I think we're going to be going over an article later about the medicinal benefits of this. And they do refer to this Nigella as kalonji throughout the article. So
Okay.
we got two names going on there. Kalonji is also an important trade name for the herb in the Middle East. In Southwest Asia, black cumin is known as cariol. And then, like I said before, I hinted earlier that I did discover there were a few different names, but it is referred to as Nigellus as well. And this just refers to its blackish or dark, visual dark state.
So not necessarily like black magic dark, but just like the appearance of the seed itself is just dark. So that's why
Yes.
it's called Nigellus.
Several species are grown as ornamental plants in gardens. Nigella damascena, commonly called love in a mist, has been grown in English cottage gardens since the Elizabethan era. Nigella hispanica is a taller species with larger blue flowers, red stamens, and gray leaves. Nigella seeds are self-sowing if the seed pods are left to mature. They have been used for centuries for medicinal and culinary purposes. The seed oil was believed to be used as the beauty aid by Cleopatra, and a hepatic, which is the liver, and digestive aid by Hippocrates, the father of medicine. The seeds are mentioned in the Old Testament and were even found in the tomb of King Tutankhamun. The Prophet Muhammad proclaimed that they could cure anything but death.
Oh,
With a taste and aroma reminiscent to black pepper, onions, and oregano, pure black seed oil is ideal for use in Indian and Middle Eastern cuisines, where it adds a delicate peppery flavor to dishes like curries, soups, vegetable and meat dishes. Black seed is also known as Habat al-Baraka, meaning the blessed seed, called Habath Sayuda in Arabic. The seeds of Nigella sativa, known as kalonji, black cumin, black caraway, black coriander, Roman coriander, black onion seeds, charnushka, git in historical Roman cuisine, or just Nigella. They are all often used as spices and condiments in South Asian cuisine, Ethiopian cuisine, Middle Eastern, and Polish cuisines.
so the whole seed oil and standardized extracts are most used for medicinal, culinary, and cosmetic purposes. The little black seeds can be prepared in a wide variety of ways, including tea, tinctures, salves, ointments, syrups, and more.
Yeah.
There you go. Syrups, it's right there. Nigella sativa and Nigella damascena are two interesting species with medicinal and ornamental characteristics. Nigella sativa is commonly known as false cumin, foreign light, or black cumin, and its seeds have medicinal properties. It is an annual plant originating from Asia, found in Mediterranean areas. Nigella damascena, also an annual plant, originates in southern Europe and the Mediterranean region. It is considered an ornamental plant with attractive flowers. These
The
flowers are very pretty. The blue
They're
flowers,
cool. They kind of
very
remind me of
cool.
passion flowers. They're like little
Yeah.
aliens.
They do look very alien-like, like you wouldn't find them on this planet. Like they're really cool looking.
The
Culti
Nigella damascena reminds me of like a dominatrix,
Ah,
you
wait,
know?
so both of the flowers, are they like extremely different looking from each other?
No, not really.
The similar looking?
Yeah, they're pretty
Okay.
similar looking.
All right. Cultivation of both Nigella sativa and Nigella damascena is relatively easy, and they are known for their resistance to drought. They prefer specific soil conditions but are adaptable to various climates. So, just a little description about Nigella. So, Nigella sativa is a hardy annual plant that grows between 8 and 24 inches tall, stabilized by a well developed taproot. The leaf structure is deeply divided with narrowly linear to thread-like leaf segments. The flowers range in color from white, yellow, pink, pale blue, or pale yellow. Although the only colors I've seen are the blue ones, like
Yeah.
online.
Hmm.
Uh, each flower has 5 to 10 petals and numerous stamens. The flowers mature into a fruit capsule that contains several black triangular or pyramid-shaped seeds. The plant is reported to grow in a variety of soils, but does best in sandy soils and in climates with strong direct UV rays. So kind of like a lavender, like if it's like a Mediterranean type of
Hmm.
plant, it's great. It grows fine in like desert kind of climates.
As you
It
say,
is
it likes to be thirsty.
it likes to be thirsty. It is perfectly suited to its homeland in the Middle East. So there you go, desert, right?
So the next little bit we have from jester.com, as usual. And this was an article. I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'm just going to share with you the abstract from it, the summation of it. But it is entitled A New Species of Nigella Was Found in Northeastern Turkey. So in Turkey, there are 14 known species of Nigella, out of which 10 are native to the country. During research in Sinop, Turkey, a new species named N. Koyunchuni domnes and Urgulu was discovered. Koyunchuni can be distinguished by several distinct characteristics. These include the presence of dark red to purplish red center blotches on the flowers, whitish yellow sepals, yellow petals, larger nectary pairs, and stamens that are grouped together. This newly discovered species was also studied for its chromosomes, a yield known as cryogenetics. The discovery of N. koryonchi adds to our understanding of the biodiversity within the Nigella genus, particularly in the Turkish region. The study of its distinguishing characteristics and genetic makeup contributes to the broader knowledge of plant diversity and evolution. So the epitaph of the Nigella Koyunchi honors the Turkish taxonomist Professor Dr. Mehmet Koyuncu, who was born in 1944, and he's still alive to this day, and he's from Boybat. I'm guessing that's part of Turkey.
Yeah, quick question. So, Ranunculaceae. Is Nigella part of the Ranunculus family?
Yes.
Oh shit. Okay.
Ranunculaceae.
That's so ranunculus. So this next article is called The Effect of Bee Visitors and Style Movement on Seed Set of Nigella sativa L. ranunculaceae grown under semi-arid conditions. And this is also from jester.com. This was a 6-page entry for Advances in Horticultural Science, Volume 24. So, just a summation of this article, because again, these Jester articles are pretty long. So, this says during the 2009 growing season in a semi arid Mediterranean climate, researchers studied how Nigella sativa plants get pollinated. They looked at different pollination conditions, such as whether the flowers were left open or covered, and whether the pollination was done by hand, which is self pollination, or involved pollen from other flowers, which is cross pollination. They also examined the role of style movements in the pollination process of these flowers. The findings revealed that Nigella sativa can self pollinate, meaning it doesn't need pollen from other flowers to produce seeds.
Neat.
The main visitors to these flowers were honeybees, and other wild bees didn't show as much interest in them during the study. So I guess these have nothing to do. The beetles want nothing to do with these flowers.
Honeybees only.
By this time, the bees were quote invented, as the person in the
Invented.
Magnolia episode. That's pretty funny. So
Mm-hmm.
the research also showed that Nigella sativa doesn't get fully pollinated without help from insect pollinators like bees. Wind doesn't play a significant role in pollinating these flowers. The scientists also discussed the mechanism of style movement in Nigella flowers and how it helps with pollination. In arid conditions, bees adjusted their flight patterns to match the availability of nectar and pollen in the flowers, especially in the morning when the styles bend near the stamens, ensuring better contact with the visiting bees. In summary, the study shed light on how Nigella sativa flowers are pollinated, with bees playing a crucial role in their reproductive success, and style movements aiding in the process.
They're
Science,
independent.
man.
They don't need no, they can self pollinate. Or
Yeah, they
yeah, they don't need, yeah, they can self pollinate. I've
oh,
never seen this plant before in my life.
same. Yeah, I thought it was honestly, if we're being honest, I thought it was something that they just made up for the movie,
Same.
you know?
Yep. I totally understand. All right, one more from Jester, and this is the making of elaborate petals in Nigella through developmental repatterning. And this is the new Phytocologist written in 2019, and it was 12 pages. So this is recent also. But here is the summation. It says, the presence of elaborate petals in many flowering plant lineages has played a significant role in their success in evolutionary diversification. Despite their importance, the mechanisms behind the development of elaborate petals has remained largely unknown. Nigella, a plant genus within the Ranunculaceae family, is well known for its complex and elaborate petals, making it an ideal model for the study of the petal elaboration. Just like you said, you were like, "Whoa, these look fucking crazy."
Yeah.
So check out a picture of these guys if you get a chance, everyone. So to shed light on this intriguing phenomenon, researchers conducted comprehensive studies on the petals of various Nigella species. These investigations encompass detailed examinations of their morphology, micromorphology, microscopic structures, anatomy, development, and evolutionary history. The findings revealed that Nigella petals exhibit a high level of complexity, evident across multiple aspects. Moreover, the evolution of elaborate petals in Nigella is a gradual process that involves both modifications to existing structures and the emergence of entirely new characteristics. Notably, the research uncovered that the elaboration and diversification of Nigella petals were achieved through a process called developmental repatterning. This process involves modifying the ancestral trajectory of petal development, leading to the formation of intricate and diverse petal structures. Overall, the study provides novel insights into the development and evolution of elaborate petals, demonstrating the importance of conducting investigations at multiple levels to comprehend the process, pattern, and underlying mechanisms of plant evolution. By unraveling the mysteries behind petal elaboration in Nigella, researchers gain a deep understanding of the broader mechanisms driving the success of the diversification of the flowering plant lineages.
This seems like a very like the title says, elaborate petals. It just sounds like a very complex flower,
I agree.
you know?
Yeah.
Very, very, very cool.
Yeah.
So the herbal as a medical document. This is from the Bulletin of the History of Medicine, another Jester article
Oh,
from
sorry. I thought I
volume.
only did 3. I guess I did 4.
Oh,
Sorry
it's
about
all right.
that.
This is volume 43, number 3. This was about 9 pages long. Christina said, I just thought this passage was bananas. All right, so let's see. I see the word absinthe in here. So now that's got my interest
Yeah.
peaked. I wonder if wormwood makes an appearance. So Nigella is hot and dry in the third degree. Its virtue resides in its seed. From its bitterness, it possesses a diuretic virtue because of its qualities. It is dissolving and consuming. Likewise, a plaster made from the meal of Nigella seed mixed with the juice of absinthium destroys worms in a young boy when applied to about the navel. What?
What? Yeah, weird.
Wait a minute. Wait. Why would a young boy have worms?
You can get worms from like playing out in the dirt and like around
Okay,
animals and shit.
got it. So like I don't know, like a tapeworm or some kind
Yeah,
of
yeah,
like
ringworm.
giardia or some shit. All right. So okay, an unguent against scabies is made with a decoction of powdered nigella seed mixed with a large quantity of sulfur and strong vinegar, of which oil is added to make it sufficiently stiff. Wherefore, have you ever heard of the term wherefore?
No, and this was
Wherefore,
in
that's so
1969.
that word is so like medieval or like
Wherefore,
Wherefore, it is an unguent good for scabies, and it is of value for those complaints when applied over the intestines.
how do you
Interesting.
apply something you just put on your belly?
I guess so. Like a roll, like in a roller bottle. Like, what are we talking
Weird.
here?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, Scabies. My brother in elementary school, he got scabies from some kid in class, and he brought them fucking home, and my
Ew.
whole family ended up with scabies.
Oh, yuck.
Yeah. Have you
Ouch.
ever had scabies? Have you
No,
ever
but
like?
it sounds disgusting.
It's like little, I guess, little bug bites. I'm not really sure where they come from. I think it's a little like a bug or a mite or something, and I don't remember if it's like itchy and that's what kind of like makes these little scab forms. So like you just like have these little scabs all over your body and you're just like itching them and it's like it's gross.
I
Yeah.
heard
It's
it's
kind of
like,
like
yeah, like little bugs living under your skin or
yeah,
something.
it's kind of like chicken pox, but not it's not a virus. I think it's like actually a bug that like eats at your
Yikes.
skin. Yeah. So that was not fun.
I'm
But we could have
sorry.
used where the hell was this Nigella back when my brother fucking had scabies? We could have used this shit. Yeah.
What did you have to do to get rid of them?
I don't even remember. It was so long ago. I'll have to ask my mom if she remembers what we did to get rid of him. But
Hmm.
yeah, this was like back in like the early 90s. I'm
Oh,
talking. So long ago.
yuck. I hope I
Yeah.
never get the scabies.
Very yeah.
I've never had ringworm either. Have you ever had ringworm?
I had ringworm,
You
yeah.
did? How'd you get it?
Ringworm is a bacteria that is common if you like if you're on a yoga mat or you're sharing mats with other people
Mm-hmm.
and your skin like skin contact on like I guess infected mats that aren't like de bacteria what's the word
Sanitized.
sanitized. I don't know, I couldn't think of that word. Yeah, if you don't sanitize your mats, if you're like in a gym or you're on close contact, ringworm
Don't think
is
I
it
had
sucks.
ringworm, but I had like some kind of fungal infection when I would climb a lot and they had like
Yeah.
all the climbing mats were on the ground.
Yeah.
But I left like these tiny, tiny, maybe smaller than dime size circles like all over
Uh-huh.
my belly and my side and
Okay.
my leg.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, oh my God, could you imagine if that was all
Oh.
ringworm? But
Oh
I think it was
fuck. It could have
gone.
been.
Yeah.
It could
Gross.
I mine was a big patch. I think it was on my right or I don't remember which shoulder it was. I think it was might have been my right shoulder. It was like right on like, like where you lay down
Mm-hmm.
where
Mm-hmm.
you're laying down on the mat because I used to do gymnastics. I used to do dance, and in gym class when you're a kid, they don't fucking clean those mats,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
And you
So
don't, you just don't want to shower when you get home anyway, you know?
yeah, I'm positive that I got it from gymnastics or something because
Mm-hmm.
they just don't fucking clean those mats. Um, so yeah, I think I remember going to the doctor and they gave me like this bacterial antibiotic or like a topical antibiotic and I just like it's like a cream. You just rub it on there and I just rubbed it on there until it went away. But yeah, it was
Scabies to me sounds
gross.
way worse than ringworm.
Yeah, ringworm, it wasn't painful, it wasn't itchy, it just looked disgusting.
Yikes.
Yeah, so I would much rather have the ringworm over the scabies any day.
Well,
Not that I
this,
want either one,
I
but
know. Yeah. Yeah. But if somebody's got a gun to your head, of course you're picking
right, right.
ringworm.
Like, oh, ringworm, I'll take the ringworm.
Ringworm and wormwood hang out together.
Warm. What if
They,
ringworm was like Wormwood's like that's his retaliation against people. Like if you fuck him over, he's like, "All right,
oh, God.
don't fuck over the
His
wormwood. I'm gonna give
vengeance.
you. I'm gonna send." Yeah, like Ringworm is Wormwood's henchman.
Yeah, he's like the
Send,
muscle.
he sends the Ringworm in to do his dirty work.
Oh my God. All right, let's get into some other medicinal properties about this thing. There's a lot, so we're going to go through them, but I just want to start off by saying that in traditional medicine, Nigella seeds are used as a carminate. What is that?
Carminative? I've never heard that word before. Let me see. An herb or preparation intended to either prevent formation of gas in the gastrointestinal tract or facilitate the expulsion of said gas, thereby combating flatulence.
Oh my God. Perfect.
That's
All right,
amazing.
carminative. We'll leave that all in. And stimulant to ease the bowels. There it is.
There
And
it is.
indigestion problems, treat intestinal worms and nerve defects, reduce flatulence, sweating, and restore a lost sense of smell. It is also used as an insect repellent. I'm telling you,
Interesting.
this guy is like what you were saying last time about like Renaissance man,
Yeah.
Renaissance herbs. This guy's doing it all.
So Nigella is the Renaissance man of the herbal kingdom. It
Yeah.
seems.
It
That's
seems.
crazy.
Numerous studies have shown that Nigella seeds have various properties, including anti inflammatory, antioxidative, antimycotic, antibacterial, antifungal, anti cancer, antiviral, antihistamine, and more.
All the antis.
All the antis. You're
It's
not getting
against a lot.
nothing. It's like a
Yeah.
black hole, it's a
Yeah.
void. The seeds contain about 60% linoleic acid, omega 6. They are available in capsules, oils, or powder form with both internal and external uses. In silico studies, they have identified compounds in Nigella sativa that show promise for the SARS-CoV-2,
COV, is that COVID? What
right?
is that?
SARS-CoV-2 inhabitation,
COVID is part. COVID is like a. Is that like an offshoot of the SARS
like a strain.
virus?
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Okay.
All right. So
All
we
right.
have a article, I think it was like 9 benefits of using Nigella seeds within your routine.
Okay. Yeah, so this has tons of benefits. Okay, so Nigella are or the seeds, I guess, right, are packed with antioxidants. So antioxidants are substances that neutralize harmful free radicals and prevent oxidative damage to cells. And research shows that antioxidants can have a powerful effect on health and disease. In fact, some studies indicate that antioxidants may protect against several types of chronic conditions, including cancer, diabetes, heart disease, and obesity. Several compounds found in Kalonji, such as, what's this word? Thymoquinone. Thymoquinone.
Thymoquinone.
Had to sound that out. Carvacrol, tianethol, and 4-terpenol are responsible for its potent antioxidant properties. One test tube study found that Kalonji essential oil also acted as an antioxidant. However, further research is needed to determine how the antioxidants found in Kalonji may impact health in humans.
Number 2, it may lower cholesterol. Cholesterol is a fat like substance found throughout your body. While you need some cholesterol, high amounts can build up in your blood and increase the risk of heart disease. Kalonji has been shown to especially be effective at lowering cholesterol. One review of 17 studies found that supplementing with Kalonji was associated with significant decreases in both total and quote unquote bad LDL cholesterol, as well as blood triglycerides. Interestingly, it's also found that Kalonji oil had a greater effect than Kalonji seed powder. Okay. However, only seed powder increases levels of that good HDL cholesterol. When I had my labs done recently, one of these, the LDL, which is the bad, and HDL, which is the good, one of mine was like over the limit. I don't know which one. So I'll have to go
Oh,
back and look now that I know the difference, that one is
yeah.
good and one is bad.
Uh-oh.
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 Okay. Another study in 57 people with diabetes showed that supplementing with Kalonji for 1 year decreased total and LDL cholesterol, all while increasing HDL cholesterol. So it decreased the bad and increased the good.
So,
Lastly,
question.
yeah.
I have a question for you. So, when you go back and check your labs, if it is very high in the bad cholesterol, you gonna give this a try?
Oh, I really want to try this. Now that I
Nigella?
know that they just sell it up the road,
Yeah,
like in oil and capsule form, I would love
right.
to try this because it has so many other benefits. We're on number 2.
Yeah, and I want to know your results if you end up
Yeah.
trying it out.
Mhm.
Curious.
So, lastly, a study of 94 people with diabetes had similar findings, reporting that taking 2 grams of Kalonji daily for 12 weeks reduced both total and LDL cholesterol.
That's amazing.
It is.
94 people. That's no accident. Like that's like pretty consistent.
Yeah.
Pretty consistent results. So, Kalonji could also have cancer fighting properties. It's high in antioxidants, which helps neutralize harmful free radicals that may contribute to the development of diseases like cancer. Test tube studies have found some impressive results regarding the potential anti-cancer effects of Kalonji and thymoquinone which is the active compound. For instance, one test tube study found that I fucking love that word, thymoquinone. I'm just going to walk around
Thymoquinone.
saying that now. Thymoquinone induced cell death in blood cancer cells.
It sounds like Simlish from The Sims. Like,
Thymoquinone?
so soon.
Zoom zoom. Another test tube study showed that Kalonji extract helped inactive breast cancer cells. Other test tube studies suggest that Kalonji and its components may also be effective against several other types of cancer, including pancreatic, lung, cervical, prostate, skin, and colon cancers. However, there is no evidence on the anti-cancer effects of Kalonji in humans. Studies are needed to examine whether Kalonji has any cancer-fighting benefits when used as a spice or taken as a supplement.
Right. Number 4, it can help kill off bacteria. Disease-causing bacteria are responsible for a long list of dangerous infections, ranging from ear infections to pneumonia. Some test tube studies have found that Kalonji may have antibacterial properties and be effective at fighting off certain strains of bacteria. One study applied Kalonji topically to infants with a staphylococcal, or like the staph skin infection,
Mm-hmm.
and found that it was as effective as a standard antibiotic used to treat the bacterial infections. Another study isolated methicillin-resistant MRSA, a strain of bacteria that is difficult to treat and resistant to antibiotics, from the wounds of diabetic patients. Kalonji killed off the bacteria in a dose-dependent manner in over half of the samples. Wow.
Wow.
Several other test tube studies have shown that Kalonji can help inhibit the growth of MRSA, as well as many other strains of bacteria. Yet, human studies are limited and more research is needed to look at how Kalonji may affect different strains of bacteria in the body.
Again, like more than half? I
And
don't
we're
think
just
so.
hearing about this, like, because
Yeah.
we looked into it. Is this a
Right.
popular thing and we're just not with it?
Are we late to the game here? I don't know. Maybe we haven't heard about this because the FDA, this stuff isn't like it's not like they're not supporting this because it's not going to make the drug industry any fucking money.
It's Sally Owens slipping out from under the pharmaceutical counter or something like, here you
Sudbury.
go. But you're right. They want to keep you sick.
Right.
They want to keep making the
Exactly.
money.
Exactly. Which is why they don't want to tell us that these aliens exist because these aliens could cure us from all this bullshit.
And it's why we never see our neighbors bringing their groceries in the house. Like, what the fuck?
Wait, do we want to go down this conspiracy rabbit hole right now?
No. As long
Anyway,
as we both have admitted to each other, I bring my own groceries in the
we
house.
bring out in our own groceries.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah, very strange. Okay, so back to reality. Oh, the goes gravity.
Nice.
Yeah, you like that? So, Kalonji may also alleviate inflammation. In most cases, inflammation is a normal immune response that protects the body against injury and infection. On the other hand, chronic inflammation is believed to contribute to a variety of diseases such as cancer, diabetes, and heart disease. Not to mention, just like your regular run of the mill like food allergies,
Mm-hmm.
like just being allergic to a food can cause so much inflammation in the body. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, debilitating and
Yeah.
deadly, lethal to people.
Right. So some studies have found that Kalonji may have powerful anti-inflammatory effects in the body. In one study, in 42 people with rheumatoid arthritis, taking 1,000 milligrams of Kalonji oil daily for 8 weeks reduced markers of inflammation and oxidative stress. In another study, inflammation was induced in the brain and spinal cord of rats. Compared to a placebo, Kalonji was effective at protecting against and suppressing inflammation. Similarly, a test tube study showed that, here's our word again, thymoquinone, the active compound in Kalonji, helped reduce inflammation in pancreatic cancer cells. Despite these promising results, most human studies are limited to people with specific conditions. More research is needed to understand how Kalonji may affect inflammation among the general population. I like how, like, at the end of each of these are like, okay, more research
More
is
research.
needed.
Yeah.
More research is needed because they don't want to admit that maybe this shit actually works. Like, you don't have to, you know, give these big pharma companies all that money,
Yeah.
you know.
And not just for like the cholesterol thing, but for because I have arthritis in my ankle, like taking this might help the inflammation.
Right. Tell us how it protects the liver.
Number 6, in protecting the livers. The livers is an incredibly important organ. We're not doing that. It removes toxins, metabolizes drugs, processes nutrients, and produces proteins and chemicals that are crucial to health. Several promising animal studies have found that Kalonji may help protect the liver against injury and damage. So is this like your pre-game supplement? Like before you go
Maybe.
out drinking? You know?
Uh-huh.
Protect that liver. Mix
Yeah.
it with one of those like H2O packety thingies. What is
Yeah,
it
like
called?
the electrolyte packets
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In one study, rats were injected with a toxic chemical, either with or without Kalonji. Kalonji reduced the toxicity of the chemical and protected it against the liver and kidney damage. Another animal study had similar findings showing that Kalonji protected rats against induced liver damage compared to a control group.
Wait
Like,
a
I'm not
minute.
about this like animal testing thing, but
Yeah, I'm like, hold up. What does rat induce liver damage? Are they just like getting these rats drunk? Are they
I
just like
don't know.
giving them
I don't know.
like a vat of vodka and they're like, go ahead, rats, drink up? Like,
I'm sure there's other stuff, maybe herbal stuff that could cause liver damage.
oh,
I don't know.
yikes.
It's just I'm not for
Yeah.
it. We're just relaying the information to everybody.
Yeah, I don't like this animal. But I mean,
One,
like, we've gotten this far with medical research because, they have to do research on something,
yeah. Yep.
and like people do actually volunteer to be, I
Test
guess,
subjects.
donated to science,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
For the good of human or mankind or whatever.
Yeah. One review attributed the protective effects of Kalonji to its antioxidant content and ability to reduce inflammation and oxidative stress. However, more studies are needed to measure how Kalonji may influence liver health in humans.
There it is again. More
There it
studies
is.
are needed. All right, so number 7, it can aid in blood sugar regulation. High blood sugar can cause many negative symptoms, including increased thirst, unintentional weight loss, fatigue, and difficulty concentrating. Left unchecked in the long term, high blood sugar can lead to even more serious consequences, such as nerve damage, vision changes, and slow wound healing. Some evidence shows that Kalonji could help keep blood sugar steady and thus prevent these dangerous adverse side effects. One review of 7 studies showed that supplementing with Kalonji improved levels of fasting and average blood sugar. Similarly, another study in 94 people found that taking Kalonji daily for 3 months significantly reduced fasting blood sugar, average blood sugar, and insulin resistance.
Is that the first one that we've had that isn't like more study is needed?
Yeah.
Yeah. So number 8 is that it may prevent stomach ulcers. Stomach ulcers are painful sores that form when stomach acids eat away at the layer of protective mucus that lines the stomach. Some research shows that Kalonji could help preserve the lining of the stomach and prevent the formation of ulcers. In one animal study, 20 rats with stomach ulcers were treated using Kalonji. Not only did it result in healing effects in about 83% of the rats, but it was also nearly as effective as a common medication used to treat stomach ulcers. Another animal study showed that Kalonji and its active components prevented ulcer development and protected the lining of the stomach against the effects of alcohol. Keep in mind that the current research is limited to animal studies. Further research is needed to determine how Kalonji may affect stomach ulcer development in humans.
All right, so Kalonji is easy to add to your routine. This is number 9. There are a variety of ways to add Kalonji to your diet. With a bitter taste that is described as a mix between oregano and onions. Ugh, that sounds like a horrible. Have you ever like tasted oregano oil, like essential oil?
Oh, no.
It's horrible.
Oh,
Horrible.
what do you use
I
essential oils
love like
for?
so oil of oregano is great for like it's supposed to like help knock out a cold, like an onset of a cold.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's very, very potent. So if you're gonna do oregano oil, you want to do it in a capsule. You don't want to just like
You
put a
just want
dab
to,
under your tongue.
yeah.
It's horrible. I remember when like I first started using doTERRA, I got like I guess my first packet of oils, it came with oregano oil. And I was just opening all the bottles to like, just smell
Smell,
all of
yeah.
them and like, just check it all out. I opened the oregano oil for like 2 seconds. I didn't even dab it on myself. I just opened the bottle and smelled it and closed it. And I was like, oh, that's horrible. And then like Avi picked me up to go somewhere. This is back when like we were dating. He picked me up to go somewhere and I get in the car. He's like, why do you smell like pizza? It's like, what? I
That is
just
a pheromone attractor for men. You know
I
what I
just
mean?
opened it for 2 seconds and he's like, oh, that's horrible. Don't
That's why
ever
he
use
married
that.
you, because
Don't
you
ever
smell
use
like pizza.
I guess so, yeah. So yeah, oregano and onions, it's often found in Middle Eastern and South Asian cuisines. It's usually lightly toasted and then ground or used whole to add flavor to bread or curry dishes. So I guess this is the seed, right? The
Hmm.
kalonji, I guess the Nigella seed. Some people also eat the seeds raw or mix them with honey or water. They can also be added to oatmeal, smoothies, or yogurt, kind of like what's that oh, chia, like chia seeds
Chia
or
seeds, okay.
yeah,
But it sounds
maybe.
like more of a punch, more of a
Right, right.
flavor.
Yeah. But I guess maybe it has the same kind of benefits. It says, what's more, the oil is sometimes diluted and applied topically as a natural remedy said to increase hair growth, reduce inflammation, and treat certain skin conditions. Lastly, supplements are available in capsule or soft gel form for a quick and concentrated dose of kalonji.
So keep in mind that kalonji may not be for everyone. It has been associated with many health benefits and is generally safe when used as a spice or seasoning. Taking kalonji supplements and using kalonji oil may have some risks. For example, there have been reports of contact dermatitis after applying kalonji to the skin. If you plan on using it topically, be sure to do a test patch by applying a small amount first to make sure it does not cause any adverse reactions. Furthermore, some test tube studies have found that kalonji and its components may influence blood clotting. Okay. See where I'm
Mm,
going with this? We'll get there. If you
okay.
take medication for blood clotting, be sure to talk to your doctor before taking kalonji supplements. Additionally, while some animal studies have found that kalonji can be safely consumed during pregnancy, one animal study found that the oil could slow down uterine contractions when used in large amounts. So if you're pregnant, be sure to use this in moderation and consult your doctor if you have any concerns. And then we have a big old list of things that this is good for.
Wow. That's a
Um,
big old list.
I guess I will. Do you want me to run through this real quick?
Yeah, just run them,
All right, here
run
we
them.
go.
Yeah.
Osteoarthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, sore throat, fever, influenza, improve memory and concentration, improves mood, decreases anxiety, improves cognitive function and memory, nervous system disorders, chronic fatigue syndrome, Alzheimer's, epilepsy, reduce the severity and duration of seizures, reduces frequency of seizures in children, early stages of Parkinson's, eases opium withdrawal, digestion, digestive upset, diarrhea, gastric ulcers, colitis, hypertension, diabetic metabolic syndrome, reduces neuropathic pain. Oil is best for this. Liver and kidney damage, edema, respiratory problems, reduces lung inflammation, asthma, coughing, bronchitis, pain, reduces neuropathic pain, headache. Don't know what that word is. Acne and cancer.
Wait.
Encephalomyelitis.
Encephalomyelitis, inflammation of the brain and the spinal cord. Yeah.
Woo.
Okay, yeah. So this is great for a lot of stuff, but again, nothing comes without warning. So this says toxicity in Damascena. So both Nigella sativa and Nigella damascena have medicinal properties, but caution should be exercised as high levels of consumption can actually be toxic. So, damascenine is a toxic alkaloid found in Nigella damascena seeds. The maximum amount of the alkaloid was found when the seed had reached maturity, and analgesic, antipyretic, and
Anti-emetic.
anti anti-emetic anti-emetic. I'm just making words up now. Anti-edematous studies of damascenene were reported, and that was in 1967. Acute toxicity was reported also in 1967. So, in the latter study, the acute oral LD50 of damascenine in male mice amounted to 1 800 milligram, and rats tolerated orally 1 600 milligram without any symptoms. Yet high intravenous, also known as IV doses, caused embolism of the lungs, while local irritation occurred after injection.
Doesn't that make your brain go a little bit? This brings me
Yeah.
back to the previous comment we had in another episode that I said something like, I never thought Jillian was trying to poison him.
Uh-huh.
And then in that other script we were talking about, I think it's Sally who says, I don't want to hurt him.
Uh-huh.
But like, what if Jillian was trying to get a little embolism going, I guess? So, like, first, when she calls it Nigella's, who's to say that the aunts don't stock the sativa and the Damascena in their pantry?
So just the damascena is the toxic one.
I don't know.
So
There's
do
the
you think
sativa, which is traditionally known as that black seed oil, like the good stuff. But we talked about the Damascena earlier, which is very similar, but it's used for more of a decorative plant, like a yard plant.
okay. So maybe it has more qualities that align with maybe a nightshade or a belladonna.
I'm thinking, but and you need a lot, but it just made me think of like how belladonna can cause these heart problems.
Yes.
And this can do it as well with these edemas. That's crazy.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is
Interesting.
crazy. But so Jillian, You're talking about when she killed Jimmy or when she was trying to send Gary away?
When she's sending Gary away and she's looking for Nigellis or Nigella,
Hmm.
it's never specified
Yeah, which one it
whether
is.
it's Sativa or the Damascena. So I'm thinking the aunts might have both there in the pantry.
Yeah.
Maybe she's trying to give him a little heart problem later on down the line.
Doesn't the grimoire say sativa though?
But is that the recreation or is that the original book?
Yeah, it's hard to tell. It's very blurry.
I just thought it was interesting that it does have a little toxicity level in it.
Right. I like how Jillian's always like
I'll just kill him.
just quick to use like, the sneaky herbs
Mm-hmm.
that maybe might not even show up in a toxicology report. Like,
Right.
you know?
Right. Remember in the fucking TV Sudbury
Yeah.
when Gary got back to them about how he died and he had like the
Yeah.
cocaine in his system, but what if he also had a little Nigella in his system?
But she poured the belladonna, the nightshade. We saw her like dump
Yeah,
the whole
yeah, yeah.
fucking thing, and you're telling me that
That
didn't
didn't
show up
show
on
up?
a toxicology report? How the fuck?
Yeah.
Like pure cocaine? That's it?
I would do that Belladonna episode all over again. Like it was so good. It was so fun. I
Yeah.
would just do it all over again for the fun of it.
I think we probably could do a whole other episode on it and come up with completely different stuff to talk
I
about.
know. Yeah, for sure.
Anyway,
Yeah. We'll take a little break right now. When we come back, we'll go over a little magic and lore and a little bit more about that Love in a Mist name that it got, as well as some recipes, the colors of the flowers, what they mean, and much more. So stick around and we will be right back.
hey little witches, the Steen is here. If you've been listening to our podcast for a while, you would know how much we love using the Practical Magic Inner Witch Oracle deck by Grounded by the Moon.
And now we want to share the magic of Grounded by the Moon with you, our listeners. Joseph Benitez Egerton, the creator behind Grounded by the Moon, would like to offer this very special 10% off discount to all who wish to experience the magic of his Practical Magic themed tarot and oracle decks.
But that's not all. He also creates other divination tools like tarot workbooks, deck bags and altar cloths, pendulum kits, oil blends, cleansing sprays, smoke wands, teas, and ritual kits.
And let's not forget about his custom handcrafted, all-natural soy candles, where every candle is hand-poured and personally infused and charged under the light of the moon. They even come with a crystal.
And did we mention all of the ingredients in the candles are ethically sourced?
All of Joseph's offerings are just so magical. So go visit groundedbythemoon.com and use the coupon code Magnolia Magic for 10% off your entire order at checkout.
That's MAGNOLIA MAGIC. So get your discount today.
Hey, we're the Steenas, and you're listening to the Magnolia Street Podcast.
I can't wait for Magic and Lore. This looks fucking awesome.
All right, we're going to do a little shuffle up, I guess.
We shuffle up, I guess.
What are the odds we pull something about protection? Or
You never know.
forgetfulness? I don't know.
Forgetfulness. All right, are we ready?
I'm ready.
Let me know when to stop.
Stop.
Here we go.
Amethyst.
I don't think, have we pulled a crystal card yet? I don't think we pulled any crystal cards yet.
Oh, I'll have to look back on our list.
The keyword on this card is acceptance and courage. Let's see, how can we make this relate to what we're talking about today?
Because Jillian's running away from accepting the problem.
Right. Exactly. She's always running away from shit. So maybe this was a lesson to her, to finally just accept what you're friggin' doing.
Mm-hmm.
And
Always trying to get away with it with her charm and her sneakiness.
Yes, she's got to own up to her shit. So this says, listen to this. This says, embrace your fate. Go forward with confidence and courage. It is time for you to accept the cards you have been dealt. You are more than capable of overcoming this current issue. You need to ensure that your emotions do not get in the way. Let go of the worry and doubt and embrace the fact that things are going to work out. Amethyst is ideal for reducing stress and is the perfect stone for healing and overall joy. Grab yourself some amethyst and let its magical energy aid with your courage, peace, and happiness going forward. Meditate with this stone and use it in energy work to gain the magical benefits. And the mantra on this card says, I fully embrace and accept my fate.
Mm,
But does she? Does she fully
no.
embrace and accept her fate? I don't think so.
Not until the very, very end when she's like,
Right.
just let him take me. No,
Right.
Jillian.
Right. And like it was in that moment that I think like she realized that she's the one who caused all the stress going on in the
Mhm.
family at that moment, and she was finally able to sacrifice herself for the greater good, like for her family so her family can move on and be at peace.
Hmm. She
So
was finally putting her family first and not
once
herself.
she finally put her family first, that's when the spirit kind of like left her body. So what
Mhm.
if in essence,
Evanescence.
Evanescence, since Sally getting the tequila bottle or like making that whole like little sentimental speech at the end actually had nothing to do with what actually ultimately ended up saving Jillian. I think Jillian had to actually like be willing to sacrifice herself and make her have that character arc in
Hmm.
order for her to make a comeback.
That's amazing.
Boom!
A whole nother twist to the
A
story.
whole other twist to the story. I have never thought about that before.
It was a selfless act
Right.
that saved them.
And
Mm.
we saw her through the whole story, the whole film, trying to dodge these bullets,
Hmm.
poisoning all these people, trying to send people away, covering up
There are too many
fingerprints.
loose ends for her to keep grasping at. And then everything
Yeah.
unraveled.
Oh my God. Talk
Yeah.
about the shit hitting the fan.
Yeah.
But
Jimmy hitting the ceiling.
Jimmy's boots
Jim's
just
boots.
coming back up through that ground. You can't hide it for too long,
Yeah.
and it
Yeah.
came back to bite her in the ass. But that's a cool card, amethyst. That's probably one of my favorite stones to like
Yeah.
work with. I
It's a good
love
one.
amethyst, and like the raw clusters are so pretty,
Yeah.
aren't they?
Just not touch them. They're
Love.
cool.
I have like one like nice chunk of amethyst that's like really nice. Like I love holding it in my hand. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's get into magic and lore. So this
All
is
right.
just a little introduction here, and it says according to spiritual beliefs, blessing seeds are used in specific magical practices to focus on various intentions, including binding, blessing, healing, removing unwanted guests,
Hence the usage of them in Gary's banishing spell.
mhm, seeking hidden truths.
Since it also has these properties, do you think in essence Jillian's spell had this effect instead? Like it caused the toad to burp up the ring to tip Gary off on something suspicious. So
Ooh.
instead of like banishing, it kind of had this like alternate twist.
Mm-hmm.
Since it's good for seeking hidden truths, maybe it was bringing the truth to light, and
Yeah.
she didn't realize the full potential of this herb before
Yeah.
sneaking that into her spell.
Maybe.
That's
And also
crazy.
performing glamour magic, which kind of harkens back to when you and I were talking about the roses and
Mm,
the specific rose color that was chosen to be on that breakfast table that morning were white roses, a symbol
mhm,
of innocence,
mhm.
and using that to portray this, glamour magic that they
I
were
just got
innocent people.
chills. That's like, yeah, totally. I didn't even think about that. Like they're trying to portray like their innocence.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to get Gary, they're trying to get Gary off of their tracks,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So by putting those white flowers and cutting down the red ones,
Yeah.
like they're trying to pull the wool over his eyes. But this kind of this alternate property of the Nigella seeds, the bringing the truth to light,
Mm-hmm.
kind of took the forefront.
Mm-hmm. They're like
Right.
throwing that shiny thing over there. They're like, look over there. And
Yeah.
Gary's like, that's a ring. That's that
Yeah.
man's ring I've been looking for. And
Yeah.
everything backfired.
Oh my God.
These seeds are associated with the planet Venus and the element of water. So, in
Mhm.
magical workings, practitioners often combine different herbs, flowers, and roots to enhance their intentions, usually using odd numbers of ingredients. These botanicals can be carried in a cloth bag of corresponding colors, burned as an incense, added to spiritual baths, sprinkled at the threshold of a home, steeped in oil to create personal magical oils, or scattered in a bonfire to invoke their ancient magical properties.
I have another little theory here. Okay,
What?
so going back to what you said. So these seeds are associated with the planet Venus and the element of water. Okay, we know the planet Venus or the goddess Venus is the goddess of love.
Mm-hmm.
So what if by using these quote blessing seeds in her spell to banish Gary, to send him away. Sally's spell that she did as a child, the love spell, what if that kind of like flipped it on its head and was like Sally's love spell banished the banishing spell, basically.
It double negatived its ass out of there.
Yeah,
I can see that.
that's a
All
whole
right.
other theory. So maybe because these seeds are associated with the goddess of love and the element of water rules the emotions and
I'm
just
wondering
love.
also because Sally did that spell so long ago that it has
Mhm.
had time to get stronger and stronger and
Mhm.
stronger. Just seniority. And this is such a like a little baby spell that her spell just knocked it out. It's
Yeah.
tenured in, this Amasvedita's spell is way
Yeah,
stronger.
totally. Yeah, I totally see the Amasperita spell just like giving this Nigellis the boot, or giving this whole banishing spell the boot. And it's like, no, this is and did it say something about fate
I
with
think
this
that was your card that you pulled.
the card that I just pulled?
Yeah.
All right, so maybe in essence that was the fate. It was like, no, this is fate. This is Sally's fate. You can try to banish it, but this guy needs to stay here.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
I like that.
So we're going to go back to what Christina mentioned before about this love in a mist. So is that just another term for Nigella?
Yeah,
Let's
it is.
okay. So love
I-
in a mist. There are a bunch of uses in witchcraft and magic that you can use this for. So some of those things are binding spells, love or hexing. Again, it comes down to your intention and what you want it to do. Glamours, shape shifting, honoring Hypatia, which we're going to talk about in a second, and elemental water magic. And it's also a Venus herb used a lot in love spells and love magic. And that was from alchemyworks.com. We'll link that below. So now we're going to get into a little bit from the smithsonianmag.com, and this says that Hypatia was one of the great thinkers of ancient Alexandria and one of the first women to study and teach mathematics, astronomy, and philosophy. Though she is remembered more for her violent death, her dramatic life is a fascinating lens through which we may view the plight of science in an era of religious and sectarian conflict. Do we know? Okay, so it says she had a dramatic. I don't know much about Hypatia. Do you?
I
Do
don't
you
know
know how
either.
she
She
died?
sounds fascinating. There was
How
a
does she?
whole write up about her, but I just took the bare minimum.
It said she had a violent death. So now I'm just curious. So she was murdered. Apparently, so rumors spread accusing her of preventing Orestes from reconciling with Cyril, and in March 415 AD, she was murdered by a mob of Christians led by a lector named Peter. Interesting. So
Peter.
Peter, Hypatia, I thought she was a goddess. Like this article that I just read,
Hmm.
I thought she was like a Greek goddess, but she was actually a woman.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
she was an actual historical figure. Because Hypatia is such like a goddess like name.
It
Like,
is. It really is.
so
But it's also
pretty.
kind of like the saints or people who like honor like Joan of Arc, all the
Martyrs,
saints, the
like a
martyrs. Yeah.
martyr. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. All right, so yeah, the name of this plant comes from a legend about Emperor Frederick, 1125 through 1190, who drowned in a shallow Turkish river as he was leading a crusade. According to the story, he was seduced by a water spirit with green hair who drowned him in the hip-deep water. This plant sprang up at the shore and displays the water spirit's hair. So the author says, I like the contrast between the image of the mighty emperor and the delicate, innocent looking plant. By the way, the quote, spikes are very soft and not sharp. This magic herb is also known as bride in hair, from the Renaissance tradition of a bride going to her wedding with her hair down to signify her virginity. Lots of maiden stuff going on here. We normally think of Venus ruled plants as aids to love spells and such, but this legend hints at a great feminine power. This is going to be interesting to get into since we just had that like theoretical discussion about, love and the whole twist with the plot of the
Oh yeah.
movie.
Oh
So
yeah.
the alchemist and physician Geber recognized this plant's power when he named it as an ingredient in his red elixir. Some of Love in a Mist's other common names are Jack in Prison, Love in a Tangle, Devil in a Bush. Show that airy fairy love spells can be as binding and as powerful as the worst hex or curse.
You don't fuck with the Fae.
Yeah, don't fuck with them. This plant is associated with the sign of Libra and with Saint Catherine of Alexandria, patron saint of maidens and female students who spoke to Joan of Arc. Saint Catherine is nowadays considered to be a fictional character created by the church as a counter to the real person of Hypatia of Alexandria, 370 through 416 CE.
Can I touch on the maiden and the female students?
Yeah,
In this scenario, Kylie and Jillian kind of ping pong back and forth at who is being the teacher.
you're
You know what I
right.
mean?
Yeah,
Jillian is kind of having to relearn her magical correspondences and her herbs
yes,
from this much younger person who you would think wouldn't have that. But also,
right.
Jillian is teaching little Kylie the real kind of darker aspects of love, but in like a nice, hopeful way,
Gentle
like you say.
way. Yeah. Quite the difference from the Sudbury speech that Jillian
Very
gives
Ryan.
Antonia, right?
Yeah.
She gives it to Antonia, not Kylie, which is an interesting twist
Yeah, but
there.
it is the older sibling, just the names
Yeah.
are reversed. But I like that. I
Yeah.
like that this connection with the student teacher kind of situation
Yeah, the
with this
maiden and what did it say? The
female
maiden and
students.
the female student. Yeah.
Hmm.
So although later Christians I guess this is why I thought she was a Greek goddess. It says although later Christians mythologized her as a saint, she in fact never became a Christian. So we've got a crooked mirror image, a fictional Christian saint who we are told falsely was martyred by pagans, and a real pagan who was actually martyred by Christians,
Yep.
and then later depicted by Christians as having been martyred by Egyptian pagans.
Oh my
Holy
God.
shit.
Wow. Twisted. Telephone.
Holy, holy twist. I think these two stories go well with this plant and how its flower is both set off and caged by the frothy, soft, spiky leaves around it. Consider this plant then for works which involve glamours, shape-shifting, and other trickery. Again, trying to pull the wool over Gary's eyes, masking the situation for what it really is, right?
Hmm.
Saint Catherine is depicted as having been a virgin. Hypatia actually remained one. Once again, we see the maiden coming through. In the Victorian language of flowers, going back to that, which better fits with how this plant can be used for love charms. Love in a mist means kiss me or you puzzle me. In India, the Victorian language of flowers, we learned that weren't didn't the Victorians use flowers a lot to convey hidden secret messages,
Yeah.
revealing those hidden truths
Roses
again?
and magnolias are
Yeah,
in that
yep,
bunch of hidden messages.
yes. So in India, the seeds are used as a sachet to keep bugs out of clothing. Rubbing them releases the scent of strawberry jam, which is what its essential oil smells like.
Ooh.
Interesting. That sounds lovely. The seeds are used in cooking, flavoring for curry, and a sprinkle on bread, and supposedly taste like nutmeg, but are nowhere near as good as those of its relative, Nigella sativa, also known as black cumin.
So this is why I included it because I was a little confused because they are so interchangeable, the
Mm-hmm.
Damascena and the Sativa, with their AKA names. And even this, they keep talking about the black cumin, but it smells different. But this is this. The link from this site, right, is hyphenated as Nigella Damascena, not Nigella Sativa, which
And the
is the more common one
Damascena,
for cooking.
right, and the Damascena was a toxic one, right?
Right. Interesting. I'm
Yeah.
just like, that's why I put both of those in there. Just
Yeah.
because like they're so mixed around each other, like the cedar
Yeah.
and juniper,
Right.
conundrum.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, but don't fuck up your banishing spell by using the wrong one,
Yes, yes,
Jillian.
yes, yes, yes.
So at one time the seeds were roasted and an ill person breathed in the fumes to dree the brain, dree the brain.
Free the brain.
And it is mentioned by Dioscorides and Theophrastus for digestive complaints. This native of warm areas of Europe, North Africa, and the Near East was introduced into England in 1570 and since then has become naturalized in various places. Thomas Jefferson grew love in a mist in his garden. It was later popularized by gardener Gertrude Jekyll in her recreations of cottage gardens, and some varieties bear her name. Indeed, it makes a good cut flower, and the pods are nice dried. Try them as an addition to wreaths and bouquets for hand fastings. Bees enjoy the flowers. This plant looks especially nice planted with silvery companions like lavender or lamb's ear. Love in a mist is also known as wild fennel, ragged lady, spider's legs, jack in prison, lady in the green, love entangled, love in a tangle, love in a puzzle, love in the shade, our lady in the shade, devil in a bush, lady in a bower, garden blackseed, hair of Venus, black caraway. I've heard of black caraway,
Mm.
and Damascus black cumin. So
Wow.
lots of different folk names.
Lots of names.
Yeah.
Some other ways to use black seed oil. You can massage it into your scalp. You can blend it into a green smoothie. And this is the sativa. This is
Mhm.
right, the
Yeah.
sativa, not the Damascena we were just talking about.
Yeah.
And again, you can find this in stores. You can drizzle it over curries and lentils. It's an excellent additive to a roast root vegetable. Try black seed oil pre-blended with olive oil and
Sacha inchi?
sacha inchi oil. Or they have a Prima oil blend from this site. We will link it. You can drizzle it over hummus.
Oh
Mix it
my
with
God. I just like my peripheral saw hummus, but I thought it said humans. You drizzle it over humans.
ooh,
Oh my God.
not humans. I mean, you could, but test patch it first.
Yeah, yeah.
You can mix with extra virgin olive oil and toss it into freshly steamed vegetables. Stir it into roast eggplant dishes. Add a teaspoon to yogurt, cucumber, raita, or tzatziki sauce.
Yeah.
Add a bit to your favorite vinaigrette salad dressing. Or you can toss a spoonful into bean salads. So a little bit on the meaning, symbolism, and colors when it comes to the Nigella Love in a Mist. It doesn't say whether or not this is the sativa or the other one. So it's an ornamental flower. I think it's this other one that needs very delicate care. The flower is symbolic of different things across cultures, but some interpretations and uses have become very common, more so with the advent of social media and commercial practice. Today, some forms of love in a mist flower meaning prevail over the rest. It has a wide use in the flowers dedicated to St. Catherine's month before Christmas, i.e., 25th of November. This is the day when the saint became a martyr while being tortured on a spiked wheel.
Oh my
We
God.
had a church, St. Catherine's. We could either go to Prince of Peace, which is our normal church, or St. Catherine's
Yeah.
had like a Saturday evening mass in which you
Okay.
could like wear jeans, which we were
Mhm.
never allowed to wear. So we always wanted to go to St. Catherine's, but I didn't know anything about her.
You didn't wear your jeans. You wore your leather pants.
I wore my
Church.
leather pants to church under my altar server uniform.
Ah, I love that
Okay,
so
sorry. The flower is symbolic of that wheel, and its foliage is a reminder of the saint's sacrifice.
much.
That's fucking metal.
Yeah, that is pretty metal. Oh
Damn.
my God. Tortured on a fucking spiked wheel? Holy shit.
North Africa carries some Renaissance traditions where the deception of its spiky seeds has earned this flower the name devil in a bush.
Mm.
A beautiful looking flower that attracts people but hides dangerous spikes like an enticing devil. Another less used name is bride in hair, i.e., a bride who married while letting her hair down to signify virginity. This archaic interpretation continues to this day in Southeast Asia. All in all, the love in a mist, Nigella flower, symbolic meanings are harmony and love.
Yeah, and also the love in a mist comes with many different flower color meanings. So a white Nigella flower. The white flowers are often used in folk traditions and magic as an ode to the purity of love. Much like, any other kind of flower that we've talked about that has multiple colors. Legends associated with the divine love of Saint Catherine to the transformative love of fairies.
Aw.
All love in a mist Nigella flowers are Catherine flowers to the common folk. The white flower is known by this name. During the Middle Ages, alchemists preferred this flower as an ingredient for their elixirs. This flower was also associated with the virginity of new brides. No wonder the meaning of love in a mist flower meaning expanded across many folklores. White is a positive color and represents purity. Miss Jekyll alba is a white Nigella flower with pretty green seed pods. It suits the cottage garden where you can make beautiful cut flowers and foliage for any vase.
The next color is pink. This flower color is associated with the deceptive love of magic. Like the white flower, which signifies good magic, pink can be potent for bad magic. It is often associated with the magical charm of the green nymph at the river, Göksu in Turkey. She captivated the leader of the Crusaders, Holy Emperor Frederick I, who we mentioned. The king got so infatuated with the spirit that he drowned in the river on a foggy day. After that, these flowers grew on the banks from the hair of the nymph. Legend has it that the nymph and the king were never seen again. Perhaps the meaning of love in a mist, Nigella flower, was about eternal love and not deception. Nigella mulberry rose was a beautiful pink flower with plumy foliage that grows in just 8 weeks. It is easy to cultivate and a great addition to dried floral arrangements.
It sounds so pretty, but the pink one is the most, I guess, bad magic one.
Deadly.
So the blue color, the blue rendition of this flower, and that's the one that I guess that we mostly see, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is associated with long-lasting love. It is about the peace associated with love. This is not a turbulent love, but a love that grants stability and helps in creation. This flower is often used in bouquets that symbolize peace. While modern wreaths at funerals have white flowers, the blue love in a mist Nigella flower may also be included for loving peace. The blue color of this flower also represents freedom and inspiration. It is very traditional and conservative. Miss Jekyll Blue blooms in June with attractive sky blue flowers. It is the most valued self-seeder. It is a great filler in the garden and reseeds profusely. This flower is a good companion plant for Asian roses and lilies. The Nigella flower, Oxford Blue, is very beautiful and appealing. It is a classic Nigella flower. Heaps of feathery foliage with dreamy blue flowers are so attractive. It is great for a country-style garden. It usually germinates in about 10 to 15 days.
The next one is a pale purple color. Purple is often associated with royalty, and love in a mist, Nigella flower, is associated with virginity. Naturally, these interpretations represent a new bloodline among the royal and the wealthy. This flower is also symbolic of the nature of the newborn, how it can be a savior or a destroyer, the possibility of being a healer or a poison.
Wait, hold on. Can I just say something really quick? All right.
Yeah.
So that whole line right there, this flower is symbolic of the nature of the newborn, how it can be a savior or destroyer. It can be a healer or a poison.
Mm-hmm.
Flower. That line. All right. So this show that I'm watching, Sweet Tooth, did I tell you what it was about?
Yeah, kinda, but you can.
So basically this like virus breaks out. I don't know if they filmed this before or after the pandemic happened, but like the parallels are insane to me given like what we kind of went through and started to experience. It didn't go as far as like a post-apocalyptic world like Sweet Tooth, but like crazy. So the whole basis of this story is that this virus happens, right? Destroys mankind as we know it. Now, the twist is that there, like when the virus started, there were these newborns that were brought into the world, these babies, and they were hybrids, okay?
Mm-hmm.
They're part animal, part human. Now, they're not sure whether or not the hybrids caused the virus or the hybrids are actually a cure to the virus. So it's like, which is it, right?
Interesting.
But here's where the twist comes in.
Mm-hmm.
Flowers, okay? Wherever the virus spreads, these like purple flowers bloom.
Oh my God. They're purple.
So,
okay.
So the flower is a symbolic of the nature of the newborn. The hybrids in Sweet Tooth can be a savior or a destroyer. Do the hybrids cause the virus?
Or are they the cure?
Are they the cure for the virus? And the possibility of being a healer or a poison like a flower.
Wow.
Nuts. If you guys listening have never seen Sweet Tooth on Netflix, go watch it. Cutest show ever. So many parallels between like what we went through in our pandemic to like what it could have turned into if it went into that post-apocalyptic kind of situation.
Oh my God.
But it's the show.
That's so cool.
It's nuts. Yeah. Very cool. Anyway,
a little bit
blows my
more
mind.
just on the purple color. The pale nature of this flower also represents duality in the royal bloodline, how it can be in favor of the earthly power or the divine power that requires love and sacrifice.
Some interesting facts about the love in a mist Nigella flowers. So the root word for the love in a mist Nigella flowers biological name is Niger or black. Ironically, this flower does not grow in black. Instead, it is commonly seen in the following colors, each of which has a different significance, which we just talked about. So the black may refer to its black seeds that are midway between medicine and poison. In the Hadith, they are quoted as seeds that can cure everything except death. You may also interpret the love in a mist flower as meaning to be of medical significance. Nigella is very well known as a medicinal plant around the world. It has antioxidant, antiparasitic, antifungal, antibacterial, anti inflammatory features, which we talked about in our earlier segment regarding all the science. Nigella treats many medical conditions and diseases like digestive troubles, blood disorders, respiratory conditions, skin problems, nervous system disorders, and more. It can destroy cancer cells, strengthen the good cells to fight against cancer. Nigella seeds are also used in cooking. They're used in baked foods, pickles, and dried foods, and is also a good substitute for pepper. The seeds are aromatic and smell like pepper. And some of the sources that we pulled all of this stuff from is firewolfsmagic.com, alchemy-works.com, pansymaiden.com. So we'll link those below.
So we have a couple spells and a couple little spells and little recipes. This site was so cool. If you guys get a chance, check out Witch of Howling Creek.wordpress.com. We will link it. They have a few different ones, different characters, and it's all about it's like, what would so-and-so do? And they had one about what would Gillian Owens do. They had one for Sally also, which I'm bummed we didn't have or look into when we did our Sally episode or the Gillian episode. But anyway, these are two spells inspired by practical magic. The first one they listed out was one for a sisterly bond. It was like a friendship drink, but they also had sweet syrup for banishing negativity.
Oh.
This calls for 2 cups of maple syrup, a 1/4 cup fresh cranberries, and 1 teaspoon of ground cloves. Muddle cranberries with syrup to release their flavor, stir in the ground cloves, and serve over pancakes or waffles. So no Nigella in this one, but
interesting that she didn't include Nigella though.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, if we're banishing here, if this is a practical magic themed recipe, wondering why she didn't include the Nigella. Just curious.
Can cloves banish? What else? Cranberries?
Yeah, it could probably be a stand-in for the Nigella, maybe the cloves. So the next one is a banishing syrup tea, and this is from we've mentioned Adagio, right? Adagio teas on here before. And this is created by Paige Huntman. And the ingredients for this is a tea blended with oolong, green tea, black tea, cinnamon, apple pieces, maple flavor, cardamom, natural vanilla flavor, natural cream flavor, safflower, and clove. And the teas are cream, maple cream, oolong, and vanilla green, accented with chocolate chips. Sounds really tasty.
Ooh. Yeah, and this is the same creator who has done the other teas we mentioned in like our character analysis. And their little packaging is so cute, like very whimsical, fonts and things.
I was looking at the packaging and I'm trying to like figure out what okay, it just says what's in the tea. I was like, what does that script say?
Yeah. I know, I wonder what what plant that is. The line art that they use for the front. Wonder what plant that is.
Yeah, I don't know, because that doesn't look like the Nigella plant that we were talking about.
Right? Is it Camellia sinensis?
It might be Camellia sinensis. It might be.
This next recipe is from roomyspice.com, and it's for a black cumin simple syrup. This is for cocktail use, which sounds kind of good. It's for the cumin pepper syrup. It says 1 tablespoon of whole wild black cumin seeds, 1/2 cup of water, 1/2 cup of sugar, 5 whole black peppercorns. That's a spicy bitch.
Yeah.
And for the cumin pepper syrup, toast your Roomy Spice black cumin seeds in a small saucepan over medium heat until fragrant and just beginning to darken. Add the water, the sugar, and the black peppercorns, stirring to dissolve the sugar. Let it simmer for 15 minutes, strain, and transfer into a container to cool. And that is your simple syrup you can use for cocktails. As an important note, not all black cumin products are the same. Most of the black cumin oil on the market contains between 0.5 and 1.2% essential oils. The more essential oil in the seeds, the better the healing benefit. Moreover, the plants grown in sandy soil with intense sunlight typically contain more essential oils and fatty acids. I know of one company, they say, who makes an oil containing up to 3% essential oils, a very superior product, they say.
Wow.
Black seed oil contains antioxidant and bioactive compounds. It may benefit skin and hair health and help reduce inflammation, all the stuff we just touched on.
I just wanted to see because doTERRA makes a cumin oil. Cuminum ciminum is the it says that's where the seeds are extracted but I don't know if that's the same thing as like a Nigella flower.
I
Yeah.
like that word.
Yeah, cuminum ciminum.
Cinnamon.
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 Okay, this isn't black cumin though. This is just I guess regular cumin. Yeah, this is typically used in more like I guess Mexican food. It also says Indian food, Middle Eastern food, Asian food.
Is regular cumin just like the leaves or the plant itself, not necessarily the black seeds?
It's a seed, but it's like a brown seed. It's not like a black seed. I guess
Interesting.
it's more compared to like a caraway. It says black cumin seeds look like cumin seeds, but slightly differ in appearance and color. While common cumin is tan brown, black cumin seeds come in a darker brown. Moreover, black cumin seeds are sleeker and have a milder flavor than their common counterpart. I guess it's the same type of deal, but the Nigella produces the black cumin seeds, and then the common cumin is what the doTERRA oil is made from.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right.
So this is from wondermintgardens.com, and this article is titled An Herbal Interlude with Black Cumin. So this article explains how to make a joint cream, since before we talked about how it was great with rheumatoid arthritis and any kind of inflammation. For this joint cream, you need 2 tablespoons of black cumin oil, 2 tablespoons of freshly ground black cumin seeds. So you're using the ground seeds plus the oil, I guess, for enhanced benefits. So place the black cumin oil in a small pot and warm it slowly over a low heat. Add the seed powder, stirring together until it becomes inseparable. Allow it to cool and store in a cool, dry place. Then warm and apply to inflamed joints or arthritic joints as needed 2 times per day. If an infection is present, apply the cream cold. Interesting how like the temperature of the cream like
Like
has
icy
a
hot.
all has like a different kind of effect. Yeah.
Yeah, that is cool.
Yeah.
I really want to get my hands on this stuff.
Right.
So there is a recipe here from the same site for black cumin tea. And it says to stabilize immune function and reduce allergies. So for this tea, you're going to need 1 tablespoon of finely ground black cumin seeds, 1 teaspoon of licorice root, 1 teaspoon of crushed anise seeds, 1 tablespoon of loose leaf black or green tea, and 1 pint of water. Mix the herbs and tea together and add to a teapot. Add hot water, not quite boiling. Steep for 10 minutes and sweeten with honey if desired. Drink 1 cup up to 3 times per day for 4 to 6 weeks. This tea can also be used as an inhalation for respiratory problems. I need
Mm.
this.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
Yeah. Have you ever like poured, I guess, like hot water in a bowl and then like put essential oils in it and then you kind of like put a towel over your head and you just like
Yeah.
inhale the
Yeah.
fumes? That's great. I love doing that when I'm having like any kind of respiratory or like sinus issues.
Anytime I think of that, I think of the Crocodile Dundee scene. Do you
I
remember
don't
that
even
movie?
know. I don't
I think it's
remember.
the second one. I don't know, but this guy, this guy's doing cocaine in a kitchen, and Crocodile Dundee comes in. He's like, "Oh man, you got a little cold or something." And the guy's like, "Yeah, I got a cold."
Uh-huh.
And anyway, the guy Crocodile Dundee takes this guy's stash. He dumps it in a bowl with boiling water and he puts the bowl under the guy's face and puts a towel over his head. He's like, keep your head in there for about 10 minutes. It'll cure you right up. And his like lady friend's like, you just dumped in like 2 grand worth of cocaine into that bowl. Like, that's all I think about. He's like,
And
that's the way to do it.
he thought it was like, I guess, a way to help his cold. And he's like, here, just like
Yeah.
inhale all this cocaine. Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Because he was sitting there, the guy's sitting there with like a
Oh my
sniffly nose. He's
God.
like, oh yeah, you got a cold? I'll fix you right up.
Oh my God. That's
Little
funny.
mugwort.
A little mugwort will fix that right up. Yeah. So where do we leave off here?
You got the gold nugget.
Ah, this is it. This is it. This is the Nigella syrup. This is, I guess, if you want to do a little banishing spell that doesn't work.
I think this is for sore throat because I saw
Okay.
this a few times.
Okay. So this is more on the medicinal side, not the magical side. There's no real intention here other than, I guess, curing a sore throat.
Yeah.
So this is black cumin syrup, and for this you're going to need 1 small clove of garlic, 2 tablespoons of honey, 1 teaspoon of finely ground black cumin seeds. So you're going to crush the garlic with a garlic press or fork and mix with the honey and the ground seeds. Take 1 teaspoon of the syrup daily before breakfast for 3 weeks. You can also add the honey to another herbal blend or black tea as desired, or use it in a water as an inhalation by diluting the entire mixture with 1 quart of hot water.
Yeah, there was another site that we won't dive too much into. They didn't have any syrup recipes, but I wanted to just seeing to look at this. It's called twocrumbsup.co/practicalmagic. And there's some really cool, like, fan-made recipes. Justina pulled one out that she's going to go over. But I just say, like, some of the things they have on their menus, they do have, like, or menu, excuse me, it's fan created menu. They have midnight margaritas. They have an Owen Sisters brew. It looks like a stew, brew.
Like squash.
Yeah, they got Maria's hanging ropes, which are little pastry puffs that are like twisted into little ropes. They look cheesy.
Those are cute.
They have a salad, which Justina's going to talk about. They got chocolate chip pancakes with cream. Really, really cute recipe. I think there's 1 or 2 more down there. But yeah, tell me about this one. What is this?
Yeah, so this is the blood on the moon blood orange salad.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever had an orange salad before?
No, but I like blood oranges.
I fucking love me an orange salad. My dad, okay, not a blood orange salad, but my dad, he makes just like a regular, like, you know, your common orange. Like, he'll peel it and then he'll slice them up. He'll he'll put them on a plate with like olive oil, salt, pepper, and pinoli nuts and a little bit of mint. You know, I did a take on an orange salad for my Bohemian Magic blog. I'll link it below. But mine did not contain Nigella seeds, which this one does. And this one
Oh my
also
God.
contains blood oranges, hence the blood on the moon.
Oh
So
my.
this says blood on the moon is never a good sign, especially with the ring around it. But hopefully, the addition of goat cheese, fresh mint, and Nigella seeds will banish any associated bad luck, especially when it comes to love. Having a tiger's eye necklace wouldn't hurt either. This blog is really cute. So the ingredients you're going to need for this salad are 3 blood oranges, 1 teaspoon of olive oil, half teaspoon of honey, half teaspoon of freshly squeezed lemon juice, 1.5 tablespoons of torn mint leaves, half tablespoon of Nigella seeds, and 1/2 cup of goat cheese crumbled. So for this, you're going to assemble your ingredients. So to prepare your oranges, remove the rind with your fingers or a vegetable peeler, getting rid of as much of the white pith as possible. Slice it into full circles about 1/4 of an inch thick. Whisk olive oil, honey, and lemon juice into a bowl. Toss the orange slices in your dressing and let sit for about 15 minutes to allow the flavors to meld together. Then it's time to assemble your salad. So place your oranges on a shallow bowl or a plate and sprinkle the mint and goat cheese on top. Finish with your Nigella seeds. And did it say to pour on the vinaigrette? Yeah, but so after you're done with your dressing and you put everything together, you pour the dressing on top after it sits for about 15 minutes. And the picture of the salad, it looks so pretty. It's like
beautiful, yeah.
pretty to eat. But like, I've never even thought about putting like Nigella seeds on a salad.
No,
I usually
never
do the
thought.
pinoli nut thing. That little bit of extra crunch in a fruit salad is really nice.
I want to get some of this. I just left the grocery store. It's 25 minutes from my house. Obviously not going to go get it today, but next time I'm up there, I will get it.
Check it out. So it's the sativa that we want to cook with, not the damascena, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
Dominatrix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got witchofhellencreek.wordpress.com, adagio.com, rummishspice.com, and wondermentgardens.com. We will link all those in our show notes down below.
I think that's all we have for you today. And just a reminder that you can check out all of our resources pertaining to today's episode via our hero.page link in our show notes. And thank you so much again to our patron and pal Mears for creating this app and keeping creators like us really, really organized. We appreciate you. And also, if you feel like supporting our show and hanging out with us and Mears and a couple other people over there who are just as much Practical Magic fans as the rest of us, you can join one of our tiers to help support the show. We have tiers ranging from $1 to $15. Our first tier is our seedlings tier, and that you could get in as little as $1 a month, and that gets you access to our Patreon-only polls where you get to weigh in on what topics you think we should talk about next. It also gets you our monthly calendar so you can see what topics are coming up for that month, and we also will give you a really cool little welcome shout out so you can hear your name on our show. And our $3 tier is our Lavender Bud tier. For $3 a month, you can get our show notes for each episode in a little aesthetically pleasing PDF. Everything's there, hyperlinked. I love the hyperlinks. You get after hours posts. If there's any little extra tidbits or behind the scenes info pertaining to any of our episodes, we'll post those along with blog posts or these extra photos that go along with the show. You can also get access to specifically curated Spotify playlists. We have created Spotify playlists for our WMSR episodes, as well as production dream playlist for each song-a-sode that we've done and more. Our $5 tier is our Lilac tier, and this gets you like a lot. You get access to our private Facebook community where we host our monthly live streams, plus access to our Discord server where we host monthly watch parties. Also on the Discord server, you can join in on the discussion with other Magnolia Street neighbors via the various interesting channels and threads.
The next tier up, we have our $8 Rose tier. This gets you access to extra audiovisual content such as a once a month full-length video episode, unlimited bonus videos, uncut footage, cutting room floor footage, bloopers, outtakes. We have a couple meditations up there. We have exclusive interviews. Old home videos from the vault are my specialty, spell or ritual videos, and more. So the bonus content to coincide with our song-a-sodes, such as full-length demo streams of our original Practical Magic inspired music, plus lyric sheets, guitar chords, original scratch demos, bonus video performances of our songs, and more. So that $8 tier encapsulates all of our music, all of our extra audio visuals, because they do take a little more time to put together and edit, but we love giving you guys all that extra bonus material because it is a lot of fun to revisit, because we know not everybody sees the visuals on every single episode that we upload to the Spotify, so sometimes it's nice to take an excerpt here and there of like little segments that we thought were a little more fun to include the visuals on. So those will be on the $8 tier. And then lastly we have our $15 Wisteria Vine. This is our big mama tier. So just like a twisting wisteria vine, there's a way for you to stay connected with us, the Stinas. In this tier, we invite you to join our private Marco Polo video messaging group, and the app is totally free for both Android and iOS. So if you sign up with your phone number or email address, we will help you get involved into that little thread from there. This is a great way to chat with each other in a more intimate group setting, face-to-face via video recordings, and we love to show each other our pets, our gardens, and anything else you guys want to share with us. And just a reminder that the higher the tier that you sign up under, the more rewards you get, because you get all of the rewards of the tiers down below it. And you can upgrade or downgrade or even cancel at any time. So in essence, to support the podcast, you can head to patreon.com/Magnolia Street Podcast.
We have merch. We got some t-shirts. We got some wall hangings. We got some merch over at our Teespring shop. We got some awesome designs over there, which you can access through our Koji link in our Instagram bio. You can get our original designs on pretty much any kind of apparel, as well as other items like coffee mugs, stickers, tote bags, and water bottles. And if there is a design over there that you like and you don't see it on an object or a piece of apparel, let us know and we can put that design on whatever you would like to see.
Yeah, and don't forget, we are going to be taking over Salem, Massachusetts in October. We are hosting a Midnight Margarita meetup on Friday the 13th of October. From 9 o'clock to midnight. And we will also have exclusive merch for this event. Christina designed a beautiful season 1 poster and t-shirt, which will be available for purchase, which we will be happy to sign for you at the event if you would like us to. And the purchase link for these is actually live now, right? We posted the purchase link for those.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we'll post the link to those in our show notes, as well as our Koji bio on the Instagram. And we did tease a little small video clip of the poster, so if you wanted a little sneak peek of what that looks like, check out our Instagram feed. It's really beautiful. They're huge. How big did you say these were?
They are big. They're 18 by 24, and that's kind of the smallest you can go on Teespring. Justina, if you find another way to print on demand with a site that they can just log into, let me know. We'll throw it up there too. If you just want like a 11 by 17 or 8.5 by 11, we'll try to figure that out. But they are nice. They're like a nice size, and they have like a little gloss to them.
Right. Yeah. So if you guys, I hope you have enough space on your wall for these big boys, but if not, yeah, maybe we'll do some research. If you guys do want these in a smaller size, let us know and we will try to get that to you as well.
Yeah.
But just a note that these will only be available for a limited time. I think we're only doing these through November 1st. So once season 1 wraps, they're gone. So get these while you can. And if you're planning on coming to Salem, we will be happy to sign those for you as well. So be sure to RSVP to our event via the Eventbrite link, which is where you can find all the updates about the event, the location, any other information you need to know. And that link is also in our show notes, and it's also in our Koji link in our Instagram. And space is limited, so please, please, please just RSVP at your earliest convenience so we can get an idea of how many people to expect so we can let the venue know and plan accordingly.
And if you would like, there are some additional ways to support the podcast if you don't have the cash monies right now. You can listen to us on Spotify and give us a star rating. 5 stars is preferable, but we will take feedback how we can improve. If you are an Apple listener, give us a written review. If you are on Instagram, we would really appreciate any reposts or blurbs about our podcast. Make sure to tag us at Magnolia Street Podcast in your feed posts and stories, and share us with your practical magic loving friends. We want to meet all of them.
Yeah. Everybody. We want it to be a big ass block party on Magnolia Street.
You do.
But I think that's all we have for today. This was a really interesting episode. We learned some stuff.
We learned some stuff.
We learned some stuff. We had some revelations, some new theories coming into play. It was a good time.
We tuned in our ears to really what Jillian was saying. We got our card pull that meant so much more than we thought it would, and like everything just connected.
Yeah, it's all connected. It always is, right here on Magnolia Street. Thanks for listening again today, guys. I'm Justina.
I'm Christina.
And we'll see you next time.
At that house down the street. At that house on Magnolia Street. Would you go down to Magnolia Street where the wisteria grow out? And the house of magic and mystery. So would you go down to Magnolia Street?
What did you do?
I took out my recipe. Okay. I had it in the wrong spot. Hold on.
There
you go.
Oh.
Sorry.
Okay.
Go for it.
Are you good?
Yeah.
Pertaining to today's episode via the hero.page link. Justina, what are you doing?
It wasn't spaced. I had to bring the space back up. All right, I'm good now.
Let me see your hands.